we've got the NFL Combine. It's Combine season.
For sure.
But it's also, we're on the verge of the UFL season.
Yes.
Which has, I think, Europe, NFL Europe failed. There's been several leagues, the AAFL or AFL failed. UFL feels like it's got some legs. They've kind of figured some things out where they play, at a couple different sites. They don't travel very much, and they kind of have these home sites that host all these games. And I think one of the things they've done is really embraced some rule changes and the ability to think outside the box. One that jumps out to me, and this is something that college football has embraced, and I would love to see the NFL embrace this, was last year the ACC had the replay officials where you get to listen. The broadcasters stop talking, and then you get the sound from the officials talking to the command center.
That's really
cool. And
cool.
every college football fan is like, this is the best. Guess where that came from? The UFL. Like, it's a perfect experimental ground to try out new things and to say, all right, does this work or not? And if it does, at least college football is willing to embrace some of this. The NFL, we'll see if they get on board. But some of this stuff I think is pretty fun.
And I don't know if it is the exact same rule, but some semblance of the kickoff rule. The new kickoff rule came from something like this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so they embraced that. And I think it's cool because, they have some powerful people sort of involved in this league, which has been very helpful, I think it was the UFL merging of two leagues at some point? It was.
XFL with the Rock and UFL merged, yeah.
And then I think Under Armour at some point had something to do with it. Yep. And you've seen a couple of good players come out of these leagues, like a kid like Kavonte Turpin.
Yep.
He's a real good player for Dallas now for a couple of years. Great kick returner, and he's starting to make some plays at wideout, and he came from a league like this. So I think as long as a couple of players a year start to migrate over and have some success, maybe it'll
it's minor league football. You can't play in college. You're kind of not. Your eligibility's out. You don't have a place to play. It's great for these guys to extend their careers a little bit.
And it's not basketball where you can be out of eligibility, play in the league, and go back to college.
Yes, exactly, which they are trying to do.
We don't have that yet.
So I'm trying to decide what I think of the 4-point field goal.
Right.
Like, because now 60 yards is becoming pretty routine. Like, these guys are knocking these things down.
Yeah.
But is 60 the right number? Do you need to move back to 65? I think this will be interesting to see how this factors in and what type of impact it has. Because, again, some of these kickers we'll see in the UFL if they're as good as some of these incredible kickers we're seeing in the NFL. But I think that's a pretty interesting rule change.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it keeps teams like now 2-score games or 1-score games from 65. The only thing I don't like, though, and with these kickers making the field so much smaller, is like, in the old days, you almost had to put a drive to, like, you're a quarterback. I have a minute 30 left. I got one timeout. I got to go 50 yards so I can get in field goal range.
Right.
These guys complete a ball for like 23 now, and they're in field goal range from the middle of the logo. I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
If it was my team, I love it. If it's not, I think I hate it.
And in the NFL, when you think of guys like Mahomes and Josh Allen, like for them to get we see game-winning drives sometimes with only 20 seconds on the clock, which is pretty insane. You'd see that increase even more. All right, I hate this one.
You hate the 1 foot inbounds?
Yeah, because I wish college would go 2 feet. Okay. Like, I wish college would make it harder, and I think it would help players adapt to the NFL. The thing I'm curious to know from your standpoint is it says on there, potentially enhance player safety. Why does it make it safer to only get 1 foot in bounds? Like, is there a chance you'd pull your hamstring because you're trying to get 2 feet in bounds? I don't understand that. But these are, and again, I think college should go to 2 feet. I think it would make it more entertaining, and you'd see more skill, and guys are capable of doing it. But I don't like, this is professionals. Like, why are we diluting the game to have them only make 1 foot?
Yeah, I from an injury standpoint, I guess I don't know if it's about maybe getting hit while you're contorting your body, because I've seen like a guy like Chad Johnson or a Dwayne Bowe that I played with, just absurd body control where they're in these crazy positions and they somehow get 2 feet down. I guess it leaves them prone to get hit a certain way, but no, I don't know that it's more an injury thing. I think that's probably an easy way to get any rule passed nowadays, saying we're looking out for the player's safety. We probably don't mean it, but it's but yeah, no, I kind of feel what you feel in the sense of, if it's the highest level of football, we got to make them do the most for a catch. I think that's probably like the third or fourth thing I'm worried of. The 2 feet down on most of these catches is usually the thing I don't debate. Right. It's about control. I'd love to get a little bit more clarity on than that. But let's see the red zone penalties. Red zones,
reinstituting the rule of half the distance to the goal line. That one's fine. Reverts back to the NFL, to the current rules. That one's like a no, like,
okay.
That's
Did they try something different last year, and now they're going back to...
I don't know. Now, the next one I think is going to be a little more controversial, and this is something the NFL can't get everybody on the same page. Thank goodness. Get it out. I want it out of the game. That is not football. The tush push is rugby. It is not football. And congrats to the UFL for realizing that it is an entertainment product. No one wants to watch a bunch of dudes get up in a scrum and just push each other for sometimes 10 to 15 seconds, and a play that also happens to be unstoppable when the Eagles do it. I think it's a horrible product for television. I think the NFL should follow the UFL, and congrats to UFL for recognizing that it is not the sport of football.
I know you hate it, and I know it's not like fan friendly, but it's like one of those things like where you celebrate in front of a guy and he gets pissed, and I'm like, you don't want me to celebrate, keep me out of the end zone. If you don't want the tush push to be, just stop it. Find a way.
But have you seen how like illegal it looks? Like when they're like jumping off sides and they're so low in their stances, like it's kind of ridiculous.
It's super ridiculous. But I mean, at this point now, we're like 3 years into it.
Yeah,
right? It's like the only thing that defensive coordinators haven't found I mean, we saw the Wildcat become a thing for a little bit, and defensive coordinators found a way to adjust and stop it. I think if one team is doing it, man, that means one team is doing something better than everybody else. So find a way to stop it. And I don't really care about this one too much. I know no punting inside the 50-yard line is sick. I love that. That's like me and my friends playing Madden.
Yeah.
Like, we never punted.
Yeah, I love that. I love more often. Again,
that
comes back to the entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
No one wants to see the corner kick, the punter, like the coffin corner kick.
Corners.
Congratulations. But they want to see guys try to convert fourth downs.
Of course.
By the way, the tush push, the NFL officially voted 22-10 against the banning.
Yeah.
They need 2 more teams, 24, to get the 2/3 majority.
Okay.
So I think they'll get that passed here.
Well, we'll see We'll see how impactful it is this year.
Yeah.
Overtime, 3 attempts per team. Teams will alternate attempts from the 5-yard line. If after 3 attempts per team that tie remains, the teams will alternate attempts until a winner is determined. The home team will have the choice to go on offense or defense first. A coin toss will be implemented in place of home team's choice. Okay.
I like college football's overtime rules. I love the old school,
rules.
Like Texas shootout, whatever you want to call it, where each team, you play real football. You just,
the best.
I think the one adjustment they can make is maybe move it back to the 30. So the first field goal is a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
It's not such a chip shot, but I like that. This one's pretty interesting.
This one could really change a game.
And I think this one's fun. I think this one would make things really interesting, where you get this. So you've got the traditional 1 point back from the 33-yard line. 2 point, that's traditional, 2-yard line, and then a 3 point if you place it at the 8-yard line. I love this. I love these outside the box ideas from the UFL.
I like it until I realize that, like, I don't know, man. I think it makes the rest of the game a little less impactful because, like, you could jump out to a 2-score lead and they could tie it in 1 touchdown. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it completely changes football. I love the idea if my team is chasing, but if I'm ahead and I worked to build a lead and I know that with I don't know. I guess with they taking the onside kick out of games, which makes it really hard to get back. So maybe something like this kind of can counterbalance that. That's cool. I guess I'm comfortable with it.
And
we'll
then
see how it goes here.
Finally, the last item on their docket is the kickoff rules.
That's a lot of rules.
That is a lot of rules. I don't know. It seems similar. I guess if you go out of bounds at the 40, it's a pretty penalty. You want to keep it in bounds. And sometimes you see kicker misses those. I don't know. This one's like,
Yes.
I like the kick. I like the 4 points for a field goal plus 60, and I do kind of like the PAT rules. Again, I want to see how they play out. I wouldn't say, hey, NFL, just take them.
Yeah.
But I think they will provide a lot more entertainment.
Yeah, I think the 4 points I'm down with. I like that one a lot. The 2 feet in thing doesn't really make too much sense to me. The tush push thing I don't care too much about. But yeah, man, there's a couple of them there that I would like to see how they work. And if, like I said, I thought the kickoff rule was a step in the right direction. I thought that would end up turning out good. So let's see.
Yep.